Welcome to the Virtual Office Hours, How to Be a Public Scholar series. My name is John Fia. I chair the department here, History Department here at Messiah College. Megan Piet is in the back there. She's our producer. I have the founding fathers with me. And today we want to do the second in a multi-part series about how to be a public scholar. And focusing specifically on writing for newspapers and specifically writing op-ed pieces in newspapers. I've done several dozen of these over the years. I have a little bit of experience. There's other historians who've written a lot more. But I think writing op-ed pieces is a great way for the historian to bring their historical expertise to a current issue going on in our society or in our culture today. It's very, very different than, I think historians function very, very different when they write op-eds than sort of public intellectuals. We're not just out there to give our opinions, although of course an op-ed piece is an opinion piece. But we're looking to give our opinions based on historical knowledge, putting an event in context, trying to get people to think historically about a particular event, rather than just sort of giving their opinion without any kind of historical context or historical information. So I think that's the difference between a public scholar and a public intellectual in terms of writing on the op-ed pages of newspapers or online, the online versions of newspapers. Now, how to write an op-ed, there's things you need to remember when you write an op-ed. Be succinct. Most newspapers will not take anything more than 800 words, some of them much less. So you need to be able to synthesize your thoughts into a small space. We're not really used to doing that. Make sure you don't use jargon when you write an op-ed. Please don't use the word postmodernism or quote Foucault in your op-ed. No one cares. No one's going to understand what that means, and no editor is going to take an op-ed that has those jargon. Don't talk about historiographical debates. Don't talk about the things you would talk about in your graduate seminars or to a bunch of other historians at a professional conference. Remember, you are writing to the public on this. Also, you need to be contemporary. You need to be writing directly, a piece directly related to something in the news, or else the op-ed editor is not going to be particularly interested in that. Now, how do you get an op-ed published? Well, it's tough. Many op-ed editors, there you go, get several hundreds of these op-eds a week. You have to do something to catch his or her attention. And again, writing in simplistic language, writing for the public is going to be one way to do that. A good way to get an op-ed published, how I started out, is through an organization known as the History News Service. The History News Service is a syndicated service in which editors look at your op-eds, and if they accept them, they distribute them and give several hundred newspapers around the country the option to run them. There, your op-ed might be able to appear in multiple places if it's accepted, and the editorial staff there are usually very good with working with beginning op-ed writers. Sometimes your college or your university or your school may have a PR department, or maybe have contracted out with a PR firm to help promote the school, and sometimes they may help you get things placed in newspapers or online versions of newspapers. So look at that, check to see what kind of things your school already has, your college already has, in terms of helping their faculty get op-eds placed. If not, you can always submit one on your own. I've published them in all three ways. I've used online, or I've used History News Service, I've used a PR firm, I've used, and I've just submitted them and gotten them accepted. Again, op-ed editors, their emails are easy to find on the website of the newspaper. Again, be persistent. Continue. If you get it turned down, continue to submit. Until the particular news story maybe has run its course. A couple quick resources. Let me just mention one resource. I love Jonathan Zimmerman's writing. He's a historian at NYU who publishes hundreds of op-eds. He's really mastered the art of writing the op-ed. We're going to put this talk he gave to a bunch of teachers at a Gilder Lehrman Institute seminar on the screen. It's about 14 or 15 minutes long, much longer than the time I've had here, in which he really explains in detail how to go about doing this. So I hope you get out there, all you public scholars or public scholar wannabes, write those op-eds, speak to the public, and we'll see you next time on the Virtual Office Hours.